Good morning, and my name's Julie, and you're very welcome to Pilates with me on Tuesday the 7th of April. I hope that you got time to watch Eileen's post last week on the fundamentals of Pilates, but I just want to briefly remind you of your A, B, C, your alignment, your breathing and your core. So when we're thinking of our alignment, I want you to draw those shoulders back and down as if you're tucking them into your back pockets. Think of lengthening through the crown of the head. Draw your spine and your neck in line. And then I want you to think of your breathing. Draw those ribs down towards your hips and think of drawing your core back, your navel back towards your spine. And think of your belt, your pelvic girdle. I want you to think of squeezing in those muscles that prevent you passing wind and water. Tuck your tailbone down and under. Tilt yourself forward so that you have a nice flat back. And then I want you to think of keeping those ankles, knees and hips all in line. So really engaging through your core, your centre, and maintaining that appropriate connection throughout all of your exercises. So I just want you to take your neck to the side, looking over your shoulder. Tuck your chin in and just roll. So we're just going to start with mobilising our neck. Just a few simple mobilisation for all of the joints. Warming the body up. Preparing for the work ahead. And just allow your head to fall to the side and bring your opposite hand up and just gently feel a beautiful stretch all the way down the side of your neck. And breathe laterally and thoracically in through your back, in through the side of the ribs, and then come up. And then take your head to the other side and just take a little grasp and feel a lovely stretch all down this side of the neck. And release. And then I want you to think of taking your arms out to the side of the body in that T position. And take a glance to the right and to the left and make sure that they are level. They're not down here. Think of drawing them up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And remember, open your chest. Smile to yourself. You are amazing. I want you to think of bringing those arms on a horizontal plane towards each other. And as you extend, keep lengthening those fingers away. So Pilates is all about controlled movement. Thinking of the correct form and alignment. And as you draw those arms back, think of squeezing the shoulder blades together. And as you draw them forwards, think of getting those fingers to meet. Really working into the tops of the shoulders, working into the upper shoulders, and squeezing that upper back as well. Excellent. And then holding this one here, turn your palms up and draw them up so that those inner hands meet together. So working now more into the biceps as the inner arm, the top of the upper arm, as we squeeze those hands together. And as we lower, feeling the outside of those arms, those triceps. So although the lower body is not moving, and we're just mobilising the upper body, those muscles that are static, that are helping you to maintain your form and your posture. Be mindful of really engaging those as you're stabilising muscles. Keep drawing your tailbone down and under. Keep squeezing through the core. And release. And just bring those shoulders up towards your ears and draw them back and down. You may have felt a little bit of tension in the neck and shoulders there. And then take one arm across the chest and just supporting either down towards the wrist or up on the back of that tricep, not on the elbow, and just stretch the shoulder. You're doing fantastically, well done. And then the other side, just draw, and again, think of keeping the stability in those hip bones. Keep your hips shining forwards as you stretch that shoulder across your chest. And then I want you to think of bringing those arms in front of the body. So your elbow, I'll turn to the side to show you, your elbow is just lower than your shoulder. Your palms are flat. And I want you to think of rotating the elbow round to the side. And then continue to the same side. So as you do this, I want you to imagine that somebody is holding your hip bones. This is what I don't want to see, that you're twisting your body and your foot. So keep the soles of the feet grounded. Really working into the obliques, that's your waist, shaping your hourglass figure, and working into the lower back as well as you twist the waist round. So it's a full body workout in our Pilates classes. Even though the lower body is staying still, we're really activating those waist muscles on the opposite side as we twist round. And then taking it through center to the other side. Breathing out with the effort and breathing in to prepare. Don't get too hung up on your breathing, but always think, breathe in to prepare and breathe out, and your exhalation is your effort. So just working with your own body. Remember, Pilates is not about doing a certain number of repetitions, but working with your body. Be aware of any injuries or any pain that you may be feeling or discomfort, and stop if that's the case. So we're just going to complete through center without stopping and to the other side. So really working those upper shoulders and backs, your lats, thinking of those waist muscles as well, and the lower back. And release. Oh my goodness, I felt that. So we're just going to come to the end of our mat now. And we want to think of coming into a roll down position. So I want you to think of drawing that head, the crown of the head shining down, rounding the back, the neck and the shoulders. Imagine your chest is falling over a fence that's just been painted with wet paint and you don't want to get it onto your chest. So you're falling over the fence. Knees are soft, and you're just slowly peeling each of your spine, each of your vertebrae off that wall behind you, and come down to the end of your spine. Now if you want to straighten those knees, you'll get a stretch all the way up the back of the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. And then gradually soften the knees and slowly, sequentially, replacing each of those vertebrae onto a wall behind you until the crown of the head shines up towards the ceiling. Your shoulders are open and you're extending your chest. And then we'll complete rounding over, segmentally folding and rolling down. And this time I want you to place your hands on the ground and just bring yourself onto your 4-point kneeling position and just walk your hands out. And then coming down, right down into our 3/4 plank position, or you can stay in your 4-point kneeling, tuck the toes under, and our 3/4 plank, our hip bones are extended forwards, we're drawing the navel up towards the spine, and our toes are planted on the floor. Or if you wish to come into your full plank, your toes are tucked under, your heels are active. Now think not of having the belly and the hips to the ground, not of having it extended into the down dog yoga pose, but thinking of keeping everything in line, as if you are a plank of wood with a glass of water balancing on your back. Elbows are soft, hands are underneath your shoulders. And then soften your knees and walk those hands back. Soften the knees towards the toes, and then slowly coming back up through through your roll-up position. And then I want you to think of rounding those shoulders, your back scooping up and under. Soften the knees, bring the hands to the floor, and either walking out into your 3/4 plank, placing the knees on the floor on a 45-degree angle with the hips, or coming into your full plank position and hold. Think of really squeezing into those hamstrings, activating the core, lifting up. And then walk your hands back and drop the knees as if you're going to place them down, and then bring them back. So dropping them down and then squeezing back. Lower and lift. Working the backs of those hamstrings and those buttock muscles. And one more. Drop to the knees, flatten the toes, and just sit back into your child's pose. So drawing your hip bones and your bottom down towards your heels, stretching your fingers out in front of you, lifting out of your shoulders, lifting out of your ribs. And release. And then come onto your 4-point kneeling position. Okay? So you can be on your hands or you can be down onto your elbows. If you have any strain in the wrist, come to the elbows. Elbows are below your shoulders. Now I want you to extend one leg behind you, active in the heel. So really think, if you're on your hands, elbows are soft, hands are below your shoulders, your heel is leading the movement. And as if you're going to touch that toe down to the floor, lifting the whole of the leg. Think of the length of the hamstring, the length of the muscles. Now your hips are in line with your knees, and you're really working not just the leg that is lifting and lowering, but also this butt cheek and this leg that are stabilizing you, the ones that are supporting you. Now hold this one up. Think of lifting that heel a little bit higher, really squeezing into the back of that bottom. Now if you can, hinge at the knee, creating an L shape. Knee and hip are in line and extend through the sole of the foot. So lifting it in, curling it in, your hamstring curl, really working in those big muscles in the backs of the legs. Try not to let your chin fall in. Remember, so much to think about. No time to think of anything else. No room in the mind to think of anything but our movements, our alignment, our breathing. Oh, I'm feeling this. Keep it here. Now squeeze that sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, and release. Oh my goodness. Now this time just extend the arms and keep the bottom up high. And hopefully you're feeling this. You're doing fantastic. These are quite challenging movements for balance on your hands as well. So just take the leg out behind you, and again, active toes, heel and lifting up. So as you do this, try not to arch the spine. Think of having a lovely flat back. You might want to bring your other hand round so you can feel it. And you're squeezing the leg. Remember, you'll always feel one side of the body is stronger than the other. And certainly this supporting leg will also be feeling this work. Remember, you don't need to wait for me to tell you to take a break. Just take a break when you need to if you feel you're losing form. You don't need to do as many repetitions. Now hold this one up, lift your heel a little bit more. Amazing. Now turn the heel in and lengthen away. So curling the heel in towards the bottom. Keep squeezing. Imagine a little mandarin orange behind your knee and you're squeezing this in towards it. Well done. Remember, the option is always to come down to those elbows And let's pulse the heel. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. Just come down onto your tummy. I want you to think of taking those elbows out wide and just place your little head. I'm going to look at you so you can hear me, and my head is not into the mat. But you can place your forehead in the centre of the mat. Now we're wanting to think of single leg kicks. So we're going to lift one leg. Now I want you to think of lifting the whole of the leg. So try and really lift that thigh off the mat, okay? And hold the leg behind you. Now thinking of bringing it in towards you, then lengthen and lower. So similar to what we did on our 4-point kneeling, lift the leg, bring the toe in towards the bottom. So it's a pointed toe this time, extending the toe. And what you'll notice is that when you change the position, if you're flexing your heel or pointing your toe, you'll feel different muscles in the front and the backs of the legs being worked. So lift the full of the leg up, bend, lengthen and lower. Other side, lift the leg up, draw the heel in towards the bottom, lengthen and lower. So really thinking of those hip bones on the floor. You may want to put a little towel underneath those hips to protect them. And release. So just draw those knees out wide and just draw the soles of the feet together. And I want you to think this time of lifting both the thighs off the floor, keeping those feet connected, really working into those glutes and the lower back. So this may be quite strong for you. If you have any lower back issues, you may just want to extend those heels and just pedal them in, or pedal your feet in towards your bottom. Squeezing the feet together and just lifting up. Breathing out as you lift. And release. Well done. So these are all strengthening the back as well as the lower body. Okay. So bringing that head back into center again. I want you just to think of bringing the hands underneath the chest and just bring your elbows to the floor and just push yourself up and roll onto the side of the body. Okay, so lying on the side of the body, we're going to think of having a lovely long lean line. So your ankles are stacked, your knees are stacked, your hips are stacked. You can bring your hand just to support the head and try and really think of the stability in the hips. So not rocking forwards or rocking back. Okay, so this is our side presse movement. And what I want you to think of doing is lifting the leg, toe is pointed, the front of the leg is shining forwards, bending at the knee and then sliding the sole of the foot the whole way down the leg. Lifting up, bend and slide the whole way down. So as you do this, think of each movement being slow, controlled and precise. Allow the core, which you have in the centre of your body, is not moving. It's stabilising you. So try not to let your back or your hips drop back. And one more. Well done. So bringing those heels behind you, knees are forwards. The heels are in line with the bottom. We're coming into our clam or our oyster. Again, you can be on your elbow. Just make sure that your head is not hanging down to the side. So active, squeezing the waist off the side of the mat. Elbow is underneath your shoulder. Heels are connected and you're just lifting that top leg up and lowering. So you're keeping the hips forward. You're squeezing the top leg up. Now if you want to challenge yourself further, you can take those knees at an angle and have your feet elevated off the floor. So you're really going to be working into that bottom again, but also into the outer and the inner thighs. Of course, the shoulder is also being challenged as well, supporting your upper body. So as you think of the muscles you're using, really think of engaging them. It's all mind and body connection. And release. And then we're just going to lengthen those legs out again. I'm coming to lying down, supporting my head. I want you to lift those legs off the floor. And then I want you to think of scissoring the lower leg forward and the upper leg back. And change. So toes are pointed. Now I don't want to see these hips rocking and rolling as you move your legs. So really think of somebody's hand or a breeze block securing you down. Bring your hand to the front if you need to stabilize yourself. And don't worry about how far forward, particularly if you're new to Pilates. Even if you're only scissoring those legs, very small range of movement. Far better to do that and to do it with correct form and alignment. So you work with how you feel. 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. You can just bring those knees in front of the body. Give your bottom a little love if you need to. And just bring your arms out in front of you. So we're thinking of our bow and arrow. Your arms are in line with your shoulders. Your head can be supported by a little block. Can I have my block just to demonstrate? If you don't have a block, you can use a little towel or a little pillow. Well caught, Julie. Hand to eye coordination is never my strong point, so that was lucky. And then we're just thinking of drawing the hand, the upper hand, the whole way up the inside of the arm, across the chest, eyes follow, and I'm colliding with the door. So, and then the eyes follow out. And again, as you complete this movement, folks, I don't want these hips to move. I'm just going to squiggle myself forward. And live television. So you're drawing this arm across the inside, across the chest, and let that arm, now it may or may not touch the floor. As you do this, keep thinking of drawing this top hip forward. Try not to let it rock back. And you're getting a lovely neck rotation as well. So you're just really bringing the hand up, bow and arrowing across, and letting that fall behind. So working on our spinal rotation, our waist, and our shoulders. Really opening the shoulders. Beautiful. And one more. Now if you can, just think of drawing the top hip forward. Let the neck look back towards that hand. And breathe. You look fantastic. Imagine you're lying on a beautiful sandy beach looking up at that scorching sky. Scorching sun. And release. So bring the top hand, just push yourself up. And we're just going to complete the same exercises on the other side of the body. So, starting with our side pressing. And again, if you have a block or a pillow or a towel, you can either have your arm long and bring your block underneath your head. Or remember, if you're sitting up, elbow is below your shoulder. So the legs are lengthened. The front of the thighs is shining forward. The stability in the waist. We're just going to lift the leg up. Bend at the knee and just draw that foot down the inside of the thigh. Lifting it up, bend and draw it down the inside. Lifting up, I'll just remove that little plaster from my heel. Draw the leg down. Looking really strong. And you may find difficult to mobilise in. I have a hip replacement on this side, so my form is not just quite as good. So do just think of your own body. Everybody's different, and the great thing about doing a home workout in the privacy with nobody else watching you, it's non-competitive, and you just work with your body and how you're feeling today. Looking really strong from here anyway. And release. So just bringing those heels in line with your bottom. And remember, for your oyster or your clam, you can have those feet elevated to progress your Pilates into a more advanced movement, or if you're new to Pilates, just think of keeping those feet on the floor. So remember, the lift is coming from the hip, opening and squeezing those knees together. Excellent. Really wonderful. Four more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Just give yourself a little love and straighten those legs out. Again, you can come to lying down for more stability for the scissors. You can also bring that hand in front. And remember, we don't want these hips to rock forward or to roll back. So think of keeping them stable, lifting the legs up. And remember, just work with your own core strength. You don't need to extend the legs too far away from you if that's going to challenge your alignment. Scissoring those legs, breathing out and breathing in. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then our bow and arrow, remember, arms in line with the shoulders, feet and knees in line, and a lovely 90-degree angle here. So we're just going to roll that hand across and then let it fall backwards. Keep bringing that top hip forward. Your shoulder mobility will be different. Your flexibility and range of movement will be different. This is a lovely relaxing movement. So Pilates is all about coordination as well, improving our flexibility, our balance, the length of our muscles, the strength. And just let this one fall back behind you and release. So rolling onto our backs now, and I want you to think of bringing that lower back into the mat. So again, think of your hips. We don't want to have the lower back so that you can place your hands underneath. We want to think of really drawing the lumbar spine down towards the mat so that it's fully engaging. Planting and really grounding through the soles of those feet. Knees above the ankles, and you have the hips slightly tilted forwards. So we're coming into what is known in Pilates as shoulder bridge. So like we did from our roll down, we want to think of separating each of the vertebrae. Hands can be facing up towards the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears, and your shoulder blades are squeezing down so that they're fully engaged with the mat. So tuck your tailbone under and then slowly and sequentially peeling each of those vertebrae off the floor until you come up onto those shoulder blades. So think of lifting those hips high, think of squeezing into the back of the legs, the bottom, and breathe. You can advance this by floating the arms up above the head, either keeping them parallel, fingers towards the ceiling, or letting them fall behind you on the mat behind you. Lifting your chest, lifting your hips. Think of someone drawing you up to the sky with a cord. And then slowly, slowly, if your arms have been extended extended behind you, think of bringing the arms back down as you slowly and sequentially replace each of those vertebrae back down to the mat. And we'll just continue, so we're warming up, we're taking our spine and our core right up, breathing out and slowly coming back down again. And we'll do several more. So perhaps you haven't lifted your arms up yet. If you want to lift your arms up now, and think of drawing the shoulders back to the floor, lifting the hips up, really squeezing the belly. Try not to let the knees rock out. Think of drawing them into a parallel position with those hips. And release. And on this next one, if you wish, you can lift one leg up to the sky, but don't let the opposite hip drop. And change, keep the hips up. And this is a little challenge for your final shoulder bridge. And bend, and then slowly let those hips come back down again. So as you come back into this position, remember you're still grounding the lower back into the base of the mat. Shoulders are away from the ears and your shoulder blades are pressed into the floor. Your palms are facing up. Now I want you to float one leg up at a time. So your knees are above your hips. The lower back is on the floor. And we're going to think of toe tapping down. So you're hinging from the hip. Now I want you to think of your knee position. Don't bring them in over your chest or over your hip flexors, but take them out away so that you're really working into your lower abdominals. And you're just going to think of stabilizing through one leg and drawing the other one down towards the floor. So as you do this, you'll really feel those lower abs connecting. Think of strengthening these, really working into the stomach. Now if you want to, you can lift the head, neck and shoulders off the floor, supporting the neck with the open elbows. If you wish. Remember, if you feel any discomfort in the neck or the head, just place that back down onto the floor. Now if you want to progress this further, you can lengthen the leg out, both legs, and just draw one down towards the floor. So a long leg, you're going to work that when you lengthen those levers, lengthen your arms or your legs away, you're going to make it more challenging for yourself. So if that's too intense, go back to the bent knee. And then the next progression is your double toe tap. So take both toes down towards the floor, hinging from the hips, but remember, don't draw those knees in towards your chest. Working into the lower abs, either with the head up or with it placed on the floor. And one more. Plant the feet, take a full body stretch. Excellent, folks, you're doing fantastically. And the next option is either to keep one leg long and the other leg is coming up to the sky, or bending this foot and having it planted onto the floor. So we're thinking of a single leg circle. So you're going to lengthen through the toes, a lovely long straight leg. Take it out to the side. Think of drawing it down towards the floor and back in towards the body. So slow, controlled circles. Think of a little pencil between your toes. Keeping your head in line with your spine, your shoulders engaged to the floor, your lower back. Excellent. Feel the inside of those thighs and the outside, your adductors and your abductors working. Now change direction. So draw the leg the opposite direction. So working the lower body as well as those core, the stomach. And just bring that ankle across. Think of working the knee out, away. And then draw that lower body in towards. So you can either place the sole of the foot down onto the floor, or you can hover the toe. So really working a lovely stretch for the hips on the other side, stretching the bottom that we've worked, and those thighs, those quads, those legs are really feeling this, and this is a core exercise. To progress it, you can lift that head up again. And release. Okay. So other side. Again, leg can be long and the other leg can be lifted up for our single leg circle, or you can have the sole of the foot on the floor and the knee shining up towards the ceiling. So a lovely long leg. Slow, controlled movements. Hope you're still with me. Your leg hasn't fallen off. And then draw it down and out. So think of keeping the hips flat. Imagine you're dragging your leg through a beautiful pool of water. Or maybe through oil, it's getting heavier and heavier, that inside of the thigh. Did we change direction? Just in case we didn't. And bring that ankle across. Now let your knee fall out to the side. I'm working on the lower body, drawing into your curl. The lower abs, squeezing that knee in towards you. And remember, you can lift the head up. And feeling both legs working. And release. Well done. Just bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees fall out to the side. Let your palms fall up to the ceiling. And you can just flutter those legs. And then draw them. Just let them rock to one side. You can take your arms out into a T. And then draw them to the other side. And then let them fall. Bring your hands in front of you. Push yourself up. And you can just come into a side position, into your side seated position. So your one sole of foot is against the other thigh. So this is called our mermaid position. And I want you to think of just lifting one hand up and drawing the body over to the side. Reaching up, your palm facing overhead, your hand is down beside you. And release. Well done. Change your legs to the other side. Hand planted up and just reaching over into our side bend, really, rather than our mermaid position. So stretching the shoulders. And release. Just bring yourself onto your knees And I want you to think of drawing those elbows in towards the rib cage, extending them forwards and drawing them back. So really working into those triceps. And release. Then take those arms out to the side and think of taking one above as if you're scratching your ear and one scratching your mid-back, and lengthen. Other side, just remobilizing into those shoulders, scratching your ear and unhooking your bra, perhaps if you're female, or just scratching your back. Lovely. I'll just show you that from the other side. So we're just thinking everything lengthened and just really working into those shoulder mobility. Now you may not be able to complete this movement, but if you can, think of shining your elbow up towards the ceiling and just bringing your hands together to meet. If you can't do that with ease, you may wish to use a band just to help with that stretch. So you can take a band in the hand and just use that, or if you don't have a band, you could use the rope of your dressing gown. But think of working the hands up the band and then change over other side. So either drawing the fingers towards each other or using the band to assist you. And just easing back that shoulder. And release. So just come to kneeling on your knees. And I want you to think of just drawing the hands up to the sky, forward and front with the shoulder circle, and draw your heels back towards your bottom. So just lengthening up. So really stretching the fingers up towards the sky, remobilizing our shoulders. And as you do this next one, just slightly tilting the hips forward, full body stretch. And release. Just bring those hands to the base of the back and think of working the elbows towards each other. And then our counter stretch, draw the hands forward, tuck the chin into the chest, really softening the elbows, and imagine you're hugging a tree, a barrel, or a beautiful person. I miss my hugs. Social distancing is not bringing me joy, but you have brought me joy meeting with me today. So I really hope that you have enjoyed your Pilates class. It has been amazing to have you with me today. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you join for all of our other classes that are online. And thank you. And if you've any questions, you can send me a little message on our Northdown website page. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again soon. Keep safe. Bye.